Some tense moments in space Thursday as a rocket failure forced the emergency landing for U.S. and Russian astronauts. A Soyuz FG rocket malfunctioned 2 minutes after liftoff from Kazakhstan Thursday, leading to an aborted mission but a safe return home just a few hundred miles from the launch site. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine tweeted, quote, NASA astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexei Ovechkin are in good condition following the aborted launch. I'm grateful that everyone is safe. A thorough investigation into the cause of the incident will be conducted. We mentioned NASA because it was 6 decades ago that President Eisenhower established NASA, and it was his successor, President John F. Kennedy, who would later succeed in his mission of putting a man on the moon. Not because it was easy, because it was hard. 60 years later, at a time when there is a debate over funding for the federal agency, President Kennedy's niece has made it her mission to cast a spotlight on the critical work NASA spearheads when it comes to not only exploring space, but also our very own planet. Filmmaker Rory Kennedy's latest documentary is titled Above and Beyond, NASA's Journey to Tomorrow. Here's a quick look.
60 years ago,
We choose to go to the moon.
my uncle put forth a great challenge. Since then, NASA has journeyed far beyond to increase humankind's field of vision. Today, we face a greater challenge, the challenge that we cannot postpone, one we simply must win.
And we are pleased to welcome Rory Kennedy back to MetroFocus. It's nice to have you here with us.
It's great to be here.
And I always look forward to your films.
Thank you.
You find great subject matter, and the storytelling is so exceptional.
Thank you.
What leads me then to my first question to you is, with all the stories you've done and all the stories out there, what made you decide to focus on this one?
Well, part of it was my family connection to NASA, and of course that amazing speech that you referenced from my Uncle Jack in 1962 at Rice University, where he talked about launching us to the moon and getting there within the decade. And as you say, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. And I've always had a deep appreciation for NASA and a connection to the organization. Now that it's 60 years old, I thought it was a good time to look back. You know, I think for many of us who grew up at that time or in the aftermath of the Apollo mission, there was such a sense of excitement about sending a man to the moon and exploring space. And I think we've lost that a little bit. And so I thought maybe I could go back and tell the story of not only NASA's history, but what it's engaged in right now and help bring that excitement to this generation.
Let me ask you about the theme of this film. A number of themes, but one that I was struck by, and I saw you mention it in an op-ed piece that you wrote recently.
Yeah.
And you would think, all right, a documentary about NASA, we're talking about up there, what we found up there. But in the op-ed piece, you start off with a quote from Bill Anders, who was one of the astronauts in Apollo 8.
Yes.
Tell me what he said and how that informs the film that you did.
So Apollo 8 was the first mission to circumnavigate the moon, to go to what's known as the dark side of the moon. So we had never been to the dark side of the moon. So that was the first mission. And when they wrapped around, they took this picture, which was known as Earthrise. Bill Anders took a famous picture now called Earthrise. And it was the first time a human had taken an image of Earth from outer space. And it went around the world. And I think, it was kind of this profound moment where people saw this little blue ball in the dark vacuum of space. And, what he says in that mission is we went to explore the moon and we discovered Earth. NASA, in all the exploring that it's done, which is extraordinary, not only in our solar system, but our galaxy and into the depths of the universe, we've never found a planet like Earth yet, and we've never found life. And so what we know is that this planet is pretty extraordinary and pretty unique, and we're changing it. And, so what NASA has done is, with the instruments that it created to look outward, it basically now has them looking back to Earth.
Let me ask you about that, because I think you illustrate it when you talk about from outside looking down,
Yeah.
and it teaches us both the majesty and the fragility
Yes.
of this planet.
Well said.
You know, the majesty that we could create an environment that allows us to send somebody to the moon, and the fragility, as you said, this thin line
Yes.
that essentially protects us from what would be destruction. And you talk about this in the film. I don't want to give away too much of the film because I want people to watch it, obviously.
Thank you.
But talk about the role that NASA is playing in that. Because again, most people think NASA projects outward.
Yeah.
Talk about the role that it's playing in terms of us saying, all right, we have something we have to deal with, and very soon, to protect ourselves.
Yeah. So a lot of the research that we have about this planet and the health of this planet comes from NASA. So NASA has 19 satellites right now that are going around the Earth, and they're looking at the dominating systems that determine the direction of our planet and the health of our planet. So they're looking at things like the weather, the ice melt, the polar ice melt, and how thick the ice is. They're looking at the oceans, how warm the water is, and how much of the coral is dying. They look at agriculture trends. They look at the amount of carbon that's in the atmosphere, the amount of methane, some gases, you know, ozone, of course, and the story of ozone. So they're looking at all of these systems. And because of that, they've been able to look at the Earth as a system, as a complete system. And now that they've been documenting all of these individual systems over many decades, what they do is they gather that information, not just from the satellites, but they have aircraft that validate the findings of the satellites. And then they have scientists who are on the ground. So I was with them in Antarctica and the Arctic and Hawaii. They are documenting what's happening in Greenland. They're in Africa. They're on every continent. And with all of that information they've been gathering, they then give that to scientists who then put it into computer models, which then generate the picture that we now have. And recently the IPCC came out with a report which was largely based on NASA data saying that we have 12 years until it's going to be too late. Yep. Where we have to radically change the direction of our entire planet, unless we'll never be able to recover. Yep. And they are screaming that we need to do this. And of course, the film, having spent 2 years on this, that became very evident to me in talking with the scientists at NASA. And I will say, I have no idea if these scientists are Democrats or Republicans. All I know is they're
concerned scientists. Yeah.
And they are coming out with information that is deeply concerning. They have no agenda other than to provide that information, and they are themselves deeply concerned. But, that's where NASA stops. They provide the information to us.
They can't fix it. They can
and
tell
to
us
our
what it is.
legislators, and then it's really up to the legislators to change the policy. So I'm not going to be able to sit here without reminding people to vote on November 6th and to look at, what their legislators are supporting in terms of climate change, and to make sure that they are on board with changing the direction of our world. Otherwise, our kids are going to have a really hard time. And it's not our kids' kids, it's our kids.
It's a marvelous film, great storytelling, great filmmaking, visually breathtaking, and perhaps more important, thought-provoking. Rory, great work, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you.
It's so great talking to you. Thank you.
You be well. And a reminder for you folks out there, you can watch Rory's documentary titled Above and Beyond, NASA's Journey to Tomorrow on the Discovery Channel. Debuts on Saturday, October 13th at 9 p.m.